Right, so this time we're going to build it with some build lube on the actual bearing itself because we're going to be rotating the crank. So we'll take piston number 1, which is this one, piston number 1, check it's around the right way, 1 facing that way, and put a bit of lube on the bearing surface. And put some lube on number 1 cap. Place the cap ready. Exactly as we did on the dry build, check arrow facing towards the front of the engine, number 1. Offer him up through. Again, bring him up. As you come up, check you've got your chamfer in the right position. So the chamfer is facing towards that part of the crank. And feel a nice sound as he goes against the crank. And then while holding the piston in, take the cap, drop him on. Again, make sure your numbers are correct. And then we take the other one. And then just nip that up. We don't need to do these tight because they'll be coming off again. So just snug it down. And you should have some movement backwards and forwards. I'm going to do the same with the one on the other side. I have the cap ready. Piston number 5. Arrow facing towards the front, which is correct. Chamfer facing towards that side, which again is correct. Offer him up. And then guide the rod up onto the crank. Again, a nice sound. Take the cap, check the numbers line up. When you do the real assembly with the piston rings, this is a lot easier because the piston will hold itself in there. And then, as the other one, just snugging down. Again, you should have a little bit of movement there. Right, we're now in a position to find out what touches what and where. So I'll try and bring the camera a bit closer for that. Right, the problem we've got is as the crank comes round, hopefully you can see this, the actual bolt kisses or touches the bottom of the bore. So we have to clear that out with a slight radius. So we'll mark that up. The first thing to do is mark the central point, which is there. And how much I'm going to do, it's got to be at least out to there and to there. So I sort of got to do a radius there. Obviously that happens also on the other side. So we take him over. And he touches on the other side. I'll try and take the camera over so you can see. I'm manually holding the camera, so I'm sorry if it wobbles a little bit. So if I just take him back a bit, you can see again it touches, and again I'll mark the middle and what I think is the outer extremes. Which I've done. So the next job then is to do that in all positions. So I'll just put the other pistons in, move it along and mark those up. Then we take everything apart and we do some grinding work to remove that part. Right, I've now done all my clearances and I've probably taken off a bit too much. Plenty of clearance on that one. Right, found another place where it knocks, the conrod hits the bore. You see a better view from here. I'm looking up from the top of the engine, looking down the bore, and you can see that the rod, I just move it a little bit, actually just brushes the bottom of the bore there. So I'm going to do and check each one of those on every single one. Right, I've just done the assembly of the engine. All the pistons in, no piston rings, with all the various cutouts to make sure I had clearance. And in one position I had an obstruction. I couldn't turn the engine. So lots of investigations have gone in and I found out that I was getting a hit on the conrod in those two locations. And looking at that particular bore, it does look as though it's higher that way than the others. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of work there. And looking at the other bores, I can actually almost see witness marks where my conrod has just been striking it. So it's going to be out with a grinder and we're going to have to grind some of that out. So I'll come back and show you pictures of what I've done there. To play safe, I'm going to do that on all 8 cylinders. I don't think I quite made it clear where that is. So I'll just zoom back. So we're looking underneath the engine, coming in. That's where we've done our existing cutouts. And you can see it there and there. Obviously, you've got to do the same on them all. Right, with the stroker crank, there is one other area that needs to be checked, and that is where the web or counterbalance, and we're at the oil pump end here, where that comes round to make sure we've got clearance between it and the block. We need to go all the way round because it's eccentric. So that's nice and clear. What we then have to do is to actually fit the oil pump. and see how close it runs to the oil pump. Right, that's the oil pump bolted in, but I bolted it in loosely because you can move it. So you want to move it that way as far as possible, and then just nip the bolts up and do them finger tight. Just make sure it is as far that way as possible. And then slowly rotate the crank. We can see that we are, let's say, closer than I'd like to be. I'd like to see at least a 3mm gap there. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work on the oil pump just to relieve it. I'll just mark up where I want to relieve it. In fact, I'll use the crank as a radius tool. Again, we're taking right round to check the other end of the lobe. Yeah, that's coming really close. So again, we'll just reiterate just redraw it in. So that's how much we need to remove. So while I've got it in this position now, I'll actually do the work on the pump and bring it back for a check. Right, so I've now removed some material from the pump, as you can see. And now we have about a 2mm clearance. In fact, if you run your finger down, you'll find that the pump now blends in with the block itself. So I'm happy with that. So we now have to take it all apart, crank out everything, and start to do some work on the bottoms of the 8 bores.